A woman went to see an apartment in Germany and woke up 6 hours later with no memory of what happened. The rental listing had looked normal. The landlord seemed professional. But the viewing was a setup, and by the time she regained consciousness, images of what happened to her were already circulating in a Telegram chat with tens of thousands of members. This wasn't an isolated incident. German police uncovered something that shouldn't exist in 2026, an organized, multinational network teaching men how to drug and assault women, complete with manuals, success stories, and a coded language designed to evade detection. The Telegram group called itself Fahrschule für Experten in Deutschland, driving school for experts in Germany. Women were cars. Attractive women were luxury cars. And sedated victims? They called them dead pigs. What makes this case particularly disturbing is who was running it. When German investigators finally identified the core members, they found something unexpected. The ringleaders weren't random predators operating in the dark corners of the internet. They were Chinese nationals, many of them students at elite universities or working as skilled professionals in Europe. One of the alleged strategic advisors reportedly graduated from Peking University, one of China's most prestigious institutions. He wasn't just participating. He was optimizing the operation, refining techniques, coaching others on how to avoid getting caught. The scale is staggering. At its peak, the primary Telegram channel had approximately 70,000 members. These weren't passive observers. Men actively shared detailed instructions: which drugs worked fastest, how to avoid leaving evidence, what camera angles produced the best footage. They posted videos of their assaults. They bragged about their successes. And they treated the whole operation like a professional training program, hence the driving school name. The metaphor was deliberate. Just as you learn to operate a vehicle, they were teaching each other how to operate on unconscious victims. The apartment viewing scheme was particularly calculated. Members would post fake rental listings on legitimate housing websites, a tactic that works especially well in cities like Munich and Berlin, where housing shortages make people desperate. Women would show up alone to see the apartment. The landlord would offer tea or coffee. Within 30 minutes, the victim would lose consciousness. By the time she woke up, hours had passed, and the evidence was already uploaded to the group chat. German prosecutors have secured multiple convictions. In April 2026, a Chinese student in Munich was found guilty of drugging and raping a woman repeatedly over several months. He was an active member of the Telegram network. Another member, identified only as Tong Zi, was convicted in Berlin in August 2025 for a similar pattern of assaults. But these prosecutions represent a tiny fraction of the network's membership. With 70,000 people in a single channel, and evidence suggesting multiple related channels operating in parallel, the investigation is far from over. What investigators found most chilling was the level of organization. This wasn't impulsive violence. It was systematic. The group maintained libraries of instructional content, which benzodiazepines were undetectable in standard toxicology screens, how long different substances remained active in the bloodstream, what excuses worked best when victims started asking questions. Some members specialized in logistics, securing safe locations, sourcing chemicals. Others focused on documentation, editing, and categorizing video files. A few acted as mentors, reviewing newer members' plans and offering tactical feedback. The Chinese nationality of so many core members has sparked uncomfortable questions. Investigators haven't found evidence of state involvement, but they have noticed patterns. Many members were living abroad as international students or visa workers. Populations that can be socially isolated, may feel insulated from local law enforcement, and sometimes operate within insular expat communities where word of their activities might not reach local authorities. Some had technical or scientific training that they applied to the problem of committing undetectable assaults. One suspect reportedly held a doctorate from USC and was separately charged with drugging and raping multiple women in Los Angeles, suggesting the network's methods had spread beyond Europe. The investigation began because victims started comparing stories. Several women in Munich reported nearly identical experiences: a rental viewing, an offer of tea, lost time, unexplained injuries. When police traced the listings, they found overlapping digital footprints that led them to Telegram. From there, undercover investigators infiltrated the channels and spent months documenting the activity before making arrests. But here's what keeps investigators awake: they've only scratched the surface. 70,000 members in one channel means tens of thousands of potential offenders, most of whom haven't been identified. The videos shared in these groups document real assaults against real victims, many of whom may not even know they were filmed. And the network's infrastructure, the coded language, the compartmentalized roles, the international membership, suggests this wasn't the work of amateurs. Someone designed this to scale. German authorities are now working with Europol and law enforcement agencies across Asia and North America to identify additional suspects. But the fundamental problem remains: Telegram's encryption makes it nearly impossible to proactively monitor these groups. Police can only act after victims come forward, and many victims of drug-facilitated assault never realize what happened to them. They wake up disoriented, maybe bruised, with gaps in their memory. They assume they drank too much. They don't file reports. And the men who assaulted them go back online to share what they learned with 70,000 others.